Titanfall 3 was always rumored and teased by leakers. We go into a deep dive of what actually happened to EA, what caused them not to finish Titanfall 3, and we're going to learn that in today's video. As of right now, Titanfall 3 would go so hard because of Battle Royale and extraction shooters are slowly declining in Steam charts and all across the board overall. It's just been overcooked and too many cooks in the kitchen. That's why Expedition 33 has been popping off along with Schedule 1, Fortnite, and it's still up there along with Apex Legends, but it seems like PUBG is still holding that #1 spot. Titanfall fans react to extraction shooter cancellation. Is this the final nail in the coffin for Titanfall 3 and the franchise? Titanfall fans are reeling from this news. EA has canceled another incubation project at Respawn Entertainment and simultaneously laid off a number of individuals across its incubation Apex Legends, Star Wars, Jedi, and EA Experience teams. Bloomberg reported that canceled game codenamed R7 was an extraction shooter set in the Titanfall universe, and while that is not the Titanfall 3 sequel, fans have been clamoring for some are devastated that the fan favorite Titanfall 2 is still without a sequel almost a decade later. I just fell to my knees at Walmart and said, one player with another simply wrote, I can't take this anymore. How many more times will this happen before they finally give up on and leave us to our sorrow? Lamented another. Not all fans are taking it as bad news, however, as some think an extraction shooter based in the Titanfall universe could have failed, killing the franchise for good. The best thing that could happen as far as the continued existence of this franchise is concerned. This Redditor at Titanfall Extraction Shooter would probably flop, and the C-suite executives would say, see, the people just don't like Titanfall anymore, instead of the obvious reasons being nobody asked for a Titanfall XTS. I'm fine with one being canceled, responded someone else, followed by Extraction Shooter LMAO. Good riddance. So sick and tired of extraction shooters. They so formulaic and boring. I don't want to loot bunch of useless shit and camp in an attic or sit in a bush for 20 minutes or risk getting shot moving through big open fields, giving me quick matches, wall running, and a Titan blasting, suggested this fan. Got sad. Read Extraction Shooter was literally okay, summarized someone else. The roughly 100 jobs impacted at Respawn included individuals in the development, publishing, and QA workers on Apex Legends, as well as smaller groups of individuals working on the Jedi team and two canceled incubation projects, one of which were reported on back in March, and the other thought to have been the aforementioned extraction shooter set in the Titanfall universe. These cuts follows as number of other layoffs over the last few years at EA. Earlier this year is reconstructed BioWare, moving developers to other projects, and laying off others is also eliminated 50 jobs at BioWare in 2023 and an unknown number more of codemasters in 2024, a large restructuring that resulted in 670 workers laid off company-wide, including around 24 workers at Respawn. In 2023, it emerged that Respawn Entertainment worked on a Titanfall 3 for about 10 months before ditching it for Apex Legends. Mohammed Avavi was becoming narrative lead designer at Titanfall 3 before it was cut, told the Burnett worker. That much work on the sequel has been done. Titanfall 2 came out, did what it did, and we're like, okay, we're gonna make Titanfall 3 in it. We worked out on Titanfall 3 for about 10 months. Earnest, right? We had new tech for it, and we had multiple missions going. We had a first playable, which was on par to be just as good, if not better than whatever we had before, right? But I'll make this clear. Incrementally better, it wasn't revolutionary, and that's the key thing, right? And we were feeling pretty decent about it, but not the same feeling as Titanfall 2, where we were making something revolutionary. So what happened? According to Alavi, it was a combination of the multiplayer team having issues making an experience that didn't burn players out quickly, and the explosion of the battle royale genre with the release of PUBG in 2017. The multiplayer team was having a hell of a time trying to fix the multiplayer because a lot of people love the multiplayer. People love Titanfall 2 multiplayer, Alavi said, but the people who love Titanfall 2 multiplayer is a very small number of people, and most people play Titanfall 2 multiplayer and think it's really good, but it's just too much. It's cranked up to 11 and they burn out a bit too fast. And they're like, that was a great multiplayer. That's not something I can continually play a year, 2 years later, right? So we were trying to fix that. We were trying to fix that from Titanfall 1 and 2, trying to fix it from a Titanfall 2 to 3. The multiplayer teams was just dying, and then PUBG came out. Respawn developers were seemingly more interested in playing a battle royale map with Titanfall 3 classes the team had put together than any of the standard Titanfall multiplayer modes they were working on. This prompted a realization, ditch Titanfall 3, which may not have ended up a better game that its predecessor, to create a battle royale that was wonderful. At the time, I just literally became the narrative lead designer at Titanfall 3. I had just pitched the story, the whole game, that me and many had come up with. We made this big presentation, and then we went off on break and came back from the break, and we talked about it, and we were like, yeah, we need to pivot and we need to go and make this game. We literally canceled Titanfall 3 ourselves because we were like, we can make this game. It's going to be Titanfall 2 plus a little bit bigger. We can make this thing, which is clearly amazing. And don't get me wrong, I will always miss having another Titanfall. I love that game. Titanfall 2 is my most crowning achievement, but it was the right call. Such a lazy cut that EA didn't even know about it for another 6 months until we had a prototype up and running that we could show them. Wow, that is crazy. So that is the reason why Titanfall 3 was cut from being Titanfall 3, and soon it was turned into Apex Legends, which was the battle royale that has all the Titanfall weapons inside of the game, which is actually pretty crazy. So that sucks. We're not going to see a Titanfall 3 anytime soon unless it comes out of the blue moon. And just looking at Apex Legends, this is where Titanfall was, beginning to be, and it was formed into Apex Legends, which is actually pretty crazy to me to think about. So wow, this is even more crazier. Electronic Arts Inc. is laying off hundreds of workers and canceling a Titanfall game that was in development at its Respawn Entertainment subsidiary. Between 300 and 400 positions were eliminated, including around 100 at Respawn. According to a person familiar with the cuts, the company had about 13,700 employees at the end of March of 2024. As a part of our continued focus on our long-term strategic priorities, we've made a select changes with our organization that more effectively aligns teams and allocates resources and services of driving further growth. Justin Higgs, a spokesman for the Redwood City, California-based company, said in a statement, the canceled project, codenamed R7, was an extraction shooter set in the Titanfall universe. According to the people familiar with its development, it was not close to being released. It's a post on social media. Respawn said it made the decision to step away from 2 early stage incubation projects and made some targeted team adjustments. The other project referenced in the statement was canceled earlier this year, the people said. Respawn is known for Apex Legends, Star Wars, and Jedi titles, and the company said it would continue working on the next Jedi game, as well as new seasons and overhaul for Apex Legends. Earlier this year, EA reduced its booking estimate for the fiscal year following the miss of its latest soccer game, EA Sports FC 25. The company also shrunk subsidiary BioWare following the release of a Dragon Age, the Veilguard, which is said to miss sales expectations by 50%, and Electronic Arts said it will cut about 5% of its workforce in February of 2024 and roughly 6% of its workforce in March of 2023. I wonder why EA. Don't be like Call of Duty. Make quality content and stop making quantity. Yeah, pretty crazy news. I will link this article down below. If you guys enjoyed this, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, make sure to hit that bell notification to never miss a single video, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.